What the heck is going on right now? The new Epstein file leaks may have just revealed Jeffrey Epstein's master plan. It's not only to blackmail world leaders seemingly. No, this is a plan for humanity. Jeffrey Epstein is seemingly involved with everything that's happened that's evil in the last 20 years. It involves eradicating certain people of classes of wealth. It also involves the creation of a new race of human beings. This is like some cartoon James Bond-esque villain type shit, y'all. These two traitorous little rats are actively covering it up. We're in the midst of a massive cover-up, y'all. And while some people are trying to beat the drum to release the unredacted names, they're actively trying to scrub names. Pam Bondi has deleted an 86-page document with a bunch of co-conspirators to Epstein's crimes. Why? Why? Some might wonder. She's also actively removing specific people's names. People could see on the DOJ site and the hard drives that people have released under Gmail that, oh, there are numbers of files being removed as we speak. This fucking little trash can over here puts clear and specific guidance to redact images involving not only victims, but former US presidents, secretaries of state, and hosts of celebrities. So not only victims are being redacted, but people who could risk public embarrassment and reputation destruction, which is against redaction law. You can only redact victims who you're trying to protect. If you can't smell the cover-up, I don't know, you're just denying reality. Speaking of people who are denying reality, people like Senator Cruz, different politicians under the administration, different influencers are saying if Epstein served any foreign interests, it's not Israel, it's like Russia or China maybe. This is like a blatant denial of reality. Because not only do we need to see everything that was referenced in Epstein's emails, the fact that he referenced himself as a potential Mossad agent, the fact that he worked for a specific group associated with that country, the fact that he met with a specific world leader associated with that country, the fact that he planned the downfall of these other leaders that all of Western media would have you believe he works for, the fact that we can see bank statements and account summaries where he's funded intelligence and military initiatives with that country. We're denying reality, eh? We're just blatantly lying all out of our asses now. And then we have a bunch of fucking big names online switching tunes. Listen, if you're fans of these people that I'm about to mention, I don't mean any insult to them. I don't think highly of these people. I don't think about them that much at all. But I do know that they had a specific, like, for example, Joe Rogan, he literally was condemning the Trump administration's cover up the Epstein Files, saying that, oh, are they using ICE raids and Iran as a way to, as a smokescreen to distract from the Epstein Files? And now they're saying, oh, the Epstein crimes weren't that bad. He's bringing on guests who are literally trying to justify the nature of the parties that Epstein would have. Oh, if you're a rich millionaire and you're having a party with a bunch of people, yeah, you might catch some people who shouldn't be there, and you might catch some underage girls, I guess, who are 10 and 11, which we're about to see the age of some of the girls that Epstein was talking about. You got Mr. Beast running cover for certain people too, like Elon Musk, downplaying the Epstein shit too, apparently. But hey, I'm not trying to defame anyone. I'm just reading headlines. I'm just reading news reportings and stuff, right? I'm just seeing clips that maybe are out of context. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I will. No defamation here at all. Got an email from an assistant U.S. attorney saying, hey, listen, Donald Trump's names are on the flight logs. They're kind of all over this. You guys should probably be warned about this. Oh, whatever happened to this letter? Oh, who knows? Also, the word dawn, people are noticing that words like don't and anything that has dawn in it have been redacted. It's like the idiots in this administration literally said, okay, we don't want to do this manually, so let's like set it up so that DON, anything with dawn, will be removed. Now, they're fucking idiots because I think they might have done this too late because Donald, the word, is also seen unredacted in some of these emails. I don't know who... These guys are morons. Another person's name that's being mentioned is also being actively blurred out of these files, being scrubbed. Whether he's doing it himself or Trump's administration is doing it for him, who knows? But that's also something that's been confirmed. Oh, guess what? Guess what? Elon is also censoring people talking about him and Epstein in the same sentence now. Apparently, users are saying, oh, our shit's getting shadow banned. Now, of course, could be hearsay. You know, people complain about the views their tweets get all the time, you know, so we can't say much about this, but what would ever give us the impression that Elon would want this shit censored in the first place? There's this other shit, man. They're trying to do a sunset bill on Section 230, which is like a free speech thing. Basically, Section 230 prevents owners of social media companies from getting lawsuits based on the stuff that people creating content on their social media sites say. All right, so if they were to get lawsuits, that would cause censoring of a bunch of people's content. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt and these guys are saying, hey, it's for the good of people, because we don't want people to spread conspiracy theories, misinformation. We want to say fuck you to big tech. And listen, I commend saying fuck you to big tech. It's very funny how this is happening now in the midst of all this Epstein shit. Bill and Hillary say, we want to testify. We want to make the hearing public. Let's put cameras out there and let the world see what we have to say. But various members from the DOJ and members from the Republican administration are saying, you know what? We're going to make it private. No cameras, no media allowed. Do with that information what you will. Expect there to be a news headline that Bill Clinton had a heart attack. Somehow. On his way to a hearing. I'm just saying. Clearly, they want to control the narrative. And they can do that privately. If they do it publicly, the whole world's about to know what the fuck was going down. We know that Clinton was heavily involved. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who is one of Trump's best friends because she's been treated so well by this administration in her cushy little prison, she's set to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights and refuse to answer all questions related to Epstein, Trump, and more during a deposition that's happened. So, yeah. We do have some people, again, trying to get the unredacted files out. He's expressed that he's had enough and says if the Trump regime won't reveal the names of the Epstein clients, he will. If victims want to give them to me, I've expressed that I'm willing to do that. So let's see. Let's see if we're actually going to get fully unredacted files. Doubt it. We've only seen, what, like 1 or 5% of the files? All right, now we're going to get to the ones that got exposed badly, all right? There's a picture that Jeffrey Epstein, and this is not AI, apparently this is actually in there, that he took in 2015. He took a picture of this meeting with Zuckerberg and Musk in it and sent it back to himself. This brother was trying to blackmail everybody. But yeah, I don't think Mark or Elon want this out. This is after he already had a 13-month sentence for child prostitution in 2008, by the way. Ostracized from a bunch of shit. They still met with him. Okay. Elon Musk is mentioned again. Elon Musk is coming to lunch at house, so you will have time. Jeffrey apparently gave a girl to Elon Musk's brother, Kimball. I gave another girl to Kimball, and he's thrilled. I told him you prefer dark eyes. All right. Some at dinner with Donald last night were concerned about dementia. Tons of makeup, did not recognize old friends. What the fuck? What? Jeffrey sent this to Michael Wolff. All right. This dude, Peter Attia, who is a Canadian author, he's big into medicine, science, and all this bullshit. This guy, apparently his son was on had a life-threatening sickness and was in the hospital, in the ER, and instead of attending to his son, he was partying with Epstein in New York, apparently. He wrote a book where he wrote this incident down about his son and how it caused him so much mental harm and traumatized him, right? But, you know, he persevered through it, that struggle, but he omitted one detail. He was talking or trying to party with Epstein in New York. I don't know if he did or he was there in New York while his son was literally in the fucking hospital. Fucking disgrace of a human being, by the way. Disgrace of a man, but all good. The CEO of Barclays. Apparently there was this ad out on the Super Bowl, and the CEO of Barclays was laughing with Epstein. So there was an ad, and let me try to read this. And to know why we are not Sao Paulo, watch the TV ads on Super Bowl about hip blacks in hip cars with white women. A group that should be in the streets have been bought off by Jay-Z. Okay. This dude, I think this is a professor or somebody. I genuinely should have written the name of this guy's identity down. Fuck, I'm an idiot for not doing so. But he's been redacted. A lot of people know him. It's a big deal, right? I've been thinking a lot about the question that you asked, Bill Gates. How do we get rid of poor people as a whole? And I have an answer. Now, if we're being a skeptic and we're giving them the benefit of the doubt, we're saying, okay, maybe he's talking about how to eliminate poverty and inequality of wealth. Doubt it, based on the other shit I'm about to read, but okay, fine. No defamation here. The World Economic Forum will now investigate itself after it was revealed that CEO George Brennan... Why the hell did this... Why has it cut off my slide? George Brennan was in direct contact with child trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, at least someone's facing... At least some people are facing consequences. And we know the WEF has been a subject to many conspiracy theories. It's a very sus organization. So this is just interesting. All right. Harry Kafta asked Epstein for help to get his son, a daughter or son he can hang with, in Tel Aviv. And Epstein referred to him... He basically referred to him, this founder of a modeling agency in Israel, to do so. Interesting. And Jean-Luc Brunel was also mentioned here. Jean-Luc Brunel is one of the people who helped Epstein with trafficking young girls to him, by the way. Apparently in an email, Clarence Thomas and senators are talking about viewing bestiality videos. I have no... listen. No words. None. Now here's the stuff that made me go, what the fuck? Like, when I read it, I was like, here we go. No defamation. I would never off myself. The government put boxes covered in sheet inside a vehicle to trick the media, pretending it was Epstein's body after his death. In order to thwart the media, redacted used boxes, sheets to create what appeared to be a human body, which was put in a vehicle which press followed, allowing the black vehicle with the body to depart. So, people are saying, okay, is Epstein still alive? They didn't really kill him? There's two possibilities here. Because I do think Epstein's dead. I don't think he's alive. A lot of people think he's alive in Israel or a different island somewhere, who knows, just partying right now and chilling, looking at all of us create content about him, laughing. I do think one of two things possible. Either we know Epstein was killed. Epstein was killed, and they didn't want the body to be caught by the media because the way Epstein's body would look after they killed him would look very different than what the public reports would say about him offing himself. So maybe they wanted to hide that and hide any suspicion and just create a fake body for the media to go after. Or they didn't kill Epstein in that prison. Epstein didn't die in that jail cell. They actually took him in somewhere else, questioned him, beat the shit out of him, and then just snapped his neck or something. Somewhere. Some factory, some abandoned factory somewhere, or an abandoned barn house, who knows. Or he's alive somewhere, I don't fucking know. I could make a whole video diving into that. The shit gets deeper and deeper. A written announcement of Jeffrey Epstein's death, an immediate release U.S. attorney document about Jeffrey Epstein's death, was apparently typed up one day before his actual death. I have no verification of this, by the way. People can look at the Wikipedia and anyone can edit it. I don't know if this document was written one day before his death. I don't know. Things are just looking very sus, man. Another thing. Apparently there was election interference that Jeffrey was helping with for Trump. I think in 2016. We processed 1 million tweets this week for Trump, and 50% are positive and are negative. We are trying to correlate into popular vote outcome and electoral votes received. We are in the process of removing data from bots and making a clean report, which I will share with you. Overall, Trump was way more popular than Clinton. So I don't know if they were actively trying to put fake votes out there or just helping turn public favor for Trump, but it's clear Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were friends. And also, Elon Musk is also under suspicion with Doge for interfering with elections too for Trump. I know people who support Trump are going to hate me. I'm just reading shit, okay? Not saying this means anything. Okay, so this is a big one. Now, I'm not saying this email necessarily means what y'all think it is, but Bill Gates and a couple people on this chain were talking about some deliverables for something. Now, there's a lot of scientific mush terminology I'm not aware of. There's some domestic health and neural brain science activity and some ideas that they're looking at. But one thing that people looked into, besides the national defense and the neural technologies being used as weapons, as being mentioned here, specifications for strain pandemic simulation. I don't even want to say the word because I feel like people were getting demonetized for this years ago, but yeah, there was talk about simulating this. Now, a lot of people are accusing Bill and Epstein and a bunch of these people for teaming up to create a certain virus that occurred. I'm not saying that I'm not a tinfoil hat guy, but this is very sus. I'm not saying this even means anything, but this was an idea touched upon. And apparently Chinese intelligence is looking into this because China got hit with that thing bad and was blamed for it for years, so maybe they feel some way about this if it does turn out to be the truth that Bill and some of these guys are behind it. I'm not saying that is true. These are just people talking shit, right? But if it is true, somehow Epstein was involved with everything that's gone wrong with society in the last 20, 30 years. What? This man's Satan! Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, submitted to the FBI, and I think this freaking report or letter was ignored, that Trump ordered the murder of his brother Jeffrey Epstein. Interesting. Another thing, remember Madeleine McCann, one of the biggest missing person stories ever? And again, this is all unverified, this is just allegations, this is people connecting dots that may not be there. But in September 2009, Ghislaine Maxwell was found with a young girl matching the description of Madeleine McCann, 2 years after her disappearance in Portugal. I think she was lifted from a hotel and never seen again. So this was a report where that happened. And there were pictures of eyewitnesses drew people who looked suspicious that were there at the time when she was taken. This picture looks a lot like a certain Ghislaine Maxwell. Not saying it means anything. Not saying this is... Listen, this is just people... Maybe people are trying to connect them to everything, but that's that. Now, here's a really dark shit. This is like the evil overlord James Bond villain shit, right? Someone who's redacted emailed Epstein saying, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. Why are you redacting this name, motherfucker? People are giving ages of children. Age 10, age 11. Who knows what they could be referring to if we're deciding to be dumb fucks. Why is it redacted? Why, Pam? There are people talking about sex parties and sex rings in Trump's golf course. And remember, there's a lot of allegations of children being buried out there. Redactions, and this was ignored. Why? I don't know. Another email saying, naughty boy, she feels fresh, firm, and creamy. I guess naughty boy's in response to that. Why are we redacting it? This is not a victim, dumb fucks. Apparently, another allegation says Jeffrey Epstein ordered for 2 foreign girls strangled to death during a rough fetish thing and buried near his ranch. A lot of allegations of people being buried. A person claimed to be a former worker there. Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly catfished women on dating sites using a fake male identity, Adam Gurley. Catfished them to bring them in, then I don't know what happened to them. They were trafficked or kidnapped, whatever. They were tricked. There is this image, and I don't know if this is real or fake, but it was in the files, of a girl being stretched out. I had to censor this more so. She's being stretched out fully naked, and he's magnifying glass burning her. Now, whether this image itself is real or not, it does match with the description of an event that happened from a witness saying Epstein did this to a person. He did this to a girl and burned her with a magnifying glass, burned her with magnifying glasses out in the sun before molesting her. There's this other person saying, and again, why are they redacted? I don't know. I call him now my future husband, and we're talking about daughter. I thought I would never be able to kill somebody in my life. I was wrong. I might escape anyway. Miss you, Jeffrey. Big kiss, although you probably won't like to kiss me anymore. Who? We need names. We need names. Again, another reference to Musk, Thiel, and Zuckerberg meeting up, probably when that image of Musk and Zuckerberg in the dinner with Epstein was taken. Again, I think this might be the same email that I touched on, but age 11, why protect the predator? Why are we redacting these names? And then there's an email of somebody writing to Epstein. And she, in this email, she says, you offered to buy my baby 6 months into our relationship. Epstein replied to this email, actually. That would be arguable, except for the fact that, again, it is not like a contrary position. It exists over and over. And yes, you didn't like taking cash. But he's not denying that he even did this. A victim, and this is where we get to the crazy shit. A victim wrote in her diary that Ghislaine supervised the birth of her daughter around 2002 when she was just 16 or 17, and the baby was taken from her 10 minutes after delivery, while Epstein talked about superior gene pools and perfect offspring. Epstein had reportedly confided to scientists about a scheme to seed the human race with his DNA by impregnating women at his New Mexico ranch, essentially running a eugenics program disguised as transhumanism. This isn't the first time Epstein has been accused of it. Epstein was planning to develop a super race of humans with DNA. He hoped to see this, again, his New Mexico ranch. And this is not some conspiracy theory. This has been verified. This has been verified all over the place. The Zorro Ranch project. He planned to use his 33,000 square foot ranch as a base for seeding. He was talking often about cloning and genetic engineering. He wanted to actively clone people himself. He talked about designer babies. The newly released files revealed that in 2018, cryptocurrency entrepreneur Brian Bishop requested funding from Epstein for a designer baby project focused on genetic enhancement, embryo implantation, and cloning. He wanted to create an army of superhumans with the perfect biology with his DNA. So this guy, Epstein, was involved with elections, disappearances of children that were huge cases, by the way. Maybe, perhaps, maybe. Spying for countries, blackmail, we know that's true. He was Mossad. Pandemic simulations, sex rings, human trafficking, cloning, overthrowing leaders, creating a master race with his DNA. Is there anything this motherfucker didn't do? He was involved with everything. Absolutely everything. The fuck? He's the devil. He was the devil. Or is, who knows if he's alive or not. And the government are covering all the people in this club of elites. They're covering their asses. There are 10 to 14 co-conspirators. This part itself is not a conspiracy. We know that there are 10 to 14 co-conspirators that the FBI did not release the identities of, and we know that elected leaders, not only of the US, but around the world, are involved. People are numb to this. They're numb to violence. They're numb to tragedy and terrible news. So the Epstein Files might not feel like a big deal to most people because most people are just so focused on their 9 to 5s and their normal lives that they don't even know about this. We can't be deaf or numb to this. This is satanic and demonic. What's happening here? The people who run the world are fucking degenerates. And to the bootlickers who defend all the corporate higher-up elites that may be involved, say simplistic things like, oh, you're just criticizing these people because they're winners. You go after winners. That's, of course, what you broke people do. You're going to go after winners. They're such high status that they would be on an Epstein list. You wish you could be them. For those people who operate with such a simplistic mind, I wish my brain could be as simplistic as yours, to be honest, with such an idiotic mindset. The world must feel good being that black and white to you. Oh, you criticizing me? Oh, you're just a loser, broke loser who's jealous because they're rich and all that. I'm not jealous of these fucking idiots on these files who've been caught. We definitely ain't jealous now, are we? Keep bootlicking. People like you are the reason why these people face no accountability. Just know they don't give a fuck about you. They are in one club up here doing whatever they want, immune from the rules that they cast down on us. If one of us breaks from paying taxes or says one thing that gets us fired from our job, our lives are screwed. These guys can molest their way through the earth and go unpunished. It's been proven. Congrats. That's all I have to say about that, man. Who knows what's going to come out? I'll probably be doing... I don't make videos like this because I'm a movie channel, but for this is just too important. And I might do video coverage on if there are public hearings, if there is news from those hearings, if there are more unredacted names. I'll definitely be making videos to cover that because this is too important. This is the truth, man. This is the truth, whether we're too scared to look at it or not. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.